how to protect yourself from hijackers. That is exactly what I'm going to discuss in this video. But before we get started, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Shimmy Morris and I'm here with AMZScout. And I want to just tell you, don't forget to leave a comment. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so that you know when we bring out new videos. And yeah, leave a comment down below if something like this has ever happened to you or you've ever been concerned about being hijacked on Amazon. So let me just quickly tell you like the backstory. What does this mean? So a lot of sellers will decide to sell their stuff with private label, and that way it's harder to get hijacked. However, you can still get hijacked. But if you're wondering what does this word hijacked even mean in regards to Amazon, well, when you're selling something on Amazon and you can see that when you go onto the listing it says also sold by this person and this person, so it says like 2 new from or 3 new and used from, and you can click that and it will give you the whole list of people selling it. Those people who are also selling your product have hijacked your listing, and a lot of the time they're selling counterfeit products or they're selling cheap knockoffs. It's just it's not good news. So in this video I want to just tell you some ways to avoid this happening to you and why this is such a big deal, what this can do to your business. And I've got my notes here on my computer. I always like taking notes when I do videos like this. And yeah, so let's get straight into it. So, well, usually what happens is if you get hijacked, it's pretty much just a rat race to the lowest price point because everyone is fighting for the buy box. And what does that mean? So the buy box is the buy now button that appears on the Amazon page, and when it's just you selling your product, you always have that buy button. It's always going to be you. When someone clicks buy, it will always go to your product, will always get added to their cart, right? Does that make sense? But if you've got 3 or 4 people on that listing, the add to cart button or the buy now button, right, known as the buy box, won't always be yours. It will be shared between all of you, right? And typically the way it works is Amazon will give the person who's getting the most sales, who's getting the highest conversion rate, will give them the longest buy box time. So you can imagine if someone starts selling on your listing and they do a massive price drop, so they're selling for $5 or $10 less than what you're selling it for, they're probably going to be getting a higher conversion rate because they have a lower price, they're probably getting more sales, which means they'll be owning the buy box more. And I know firsthand, because this has actually happened to us, where we've been hijacked and it's very hard. Now, don't worry, there are a few things to stop this happening or to get rid of any hijackers, and I'll explain that in a minute. But the main problem with getting hijacked is that you just have to keep lowering your price, and eventually you are not earning very much, or pretty much not earning anything at all. And that is a huge problem. Now, another big negative to this is that if someone is buying a product that they think is yours, but it's actually from someone else and it's counterfeit, they might not like it. And not only will that give your brand a bad name, but it could also give your product bad reviews, because you have to remember this is all coming from one listing. So if they leave a bad review because it's a fake product, even though you're not selling a fake product, but someone else is on your listing, that bad review will show up on your product listing. I know, it's mad, and we've spent hours talking to Amazon about this, but there's not much that can be done. They are in the process of fixing it, but at the moment there's not that much that can be done. So those are a few of the things that could happen if you get hijacked. You won't make very much money because of the price. They can ruin your ranking in Amazon because of the fluctuations of sales, and most importantly, they can give your product bad reviews, and they can give your brand a negative sort of vibe. It can give your brand bad feedback. So let's talk about how to actually stop this from happening, how to protect yourself, and how to get your listing back if this has happened to you. So the first thing you have to do is you have to enroll in Amazon's brand registry program. Now, this used to be really easy, like really easy. It was just a click of a few buttons, and in fact we were in Amazon's brand registry program, but then they changed it. They made it so much harder. What you now have to do is you have to show proof of a lot of stuff, including a registered trademark. Now in the UK, I know that you have to do a registered trademark, and I believe it's the same in the US. So what Amazon want now, they want photos showing it's yours, they want receipts of suppliers, they want to see the trademark, the actual trademark, which in the UK takes about 3 months to actually file. Once you filed it, it takes about a couple of weeks to file, but once you filed it, it can take about 3 months for it to actually become like a valid trademark. So it's not an easy process and it takes its time. But one thing I'll recommend doing from day one is registering for Amazon's brand registry, okay? And let me just see. So that's what I would say. Once you've done that, okay, there's a few other things that you could do. So once you've got your trademark, firstly, it will be harder for them to hijack your listing. Now, it's not impossible, but it will be harder. Okay, so what I would recommend doing is registering your trademark. Oh, sorry, is not registering. You've done that already. Is putting your trademark name and saying that your product is trademarked on your photo, on your description, and in your bullets. Okay, say everywhere that it's trademarked product, which means that if someone hijacks your listing and sells a counterfeit, they are opening themselves up to being sued. Okay, so that's not what they want to be doing. So that alone could help you. It could help deter any hijackers. Now, the next thing you do is if you're still continuing to get hijackers, then you just have to send a simple cease and desist letter. And it doesn't have to be very complicated. You could find a sample online and just edit it with your name and your brand and your trademark, and then just contact the seller. Okay, you can just click on their name and click contact seller. And when you contact them, you just send them a copy and paste of this cease and desist. Obviously put their name in. And usually this scares them off quite drastically, and they go, I would say 7 out of 10 for us just delete the product. They delete their product off your listing because they get a bit scared. Now, for the people that don't, then there's another thing you can do, and that is to do a test buy, and report the differences to Amazon and then send it back. So using your personal account, I would recommend buying the product, taking a side-by-side photo, looking at the differences, sending that photo into Amazon, highlighting the differences, saying how it's a fake, saying how they are selling counterfeit items on this listing. Then, once Amazon remove them, send the item back. That way you get your money back, they're not on your listing anymore, they'll never go on your listing anymore because Amazon will shut down their account, and this usually works 9 times out of 10, okay? The next one you can do is, well, this is a bit more difficult, and this is actually I forgot what it's called, but it's like registering for so there's brand registry, but then there's also this thing where buy box registry type thing, where they can't even list, like your product isn't available when they go to search to sell a product on someone else's listing. Your product listing doesn't even show up. This is slightly harder, so I'm not even going to get into that because it's a bit complicated, and I want to just stick to simple stuff. But once you've done all of this, all you now have to do is just manage your product. Find out, look at it every single day. If you're getting a hijacker, then get rid of them and do all these tactics. But now you pretty much just have to manage your product. And a cool thing about the AMZScout Chrome extension is that they make it very easy that you can just go to your page and search for the product, or click the extension tool, and it will show all your products on your profile page, like where it shows all your products, you know, like your storefront. And then it will show you all your products, and you'll be able to see how many sellers there are for each product. If there's ever more than one seller, you know that you've been hijacked. Now, sometimes Amazon warehouse deals will also sell under your product, and that's just someone who's returned a product to Amazon. They can't sell it as new, so it goes under Amazon's warehouse deals. That's not something to be worried about. They're not hijackers. Usually it's just 1 or 2 items, and they'll go and they'll be gone, and that's it. The real problem is when a hijacker comes in with like 100 or 200 fake items. It's just horrible. So I would say just at this point, look after your product, manage it, and if you have any problems, well, firstly, leave a comment down below if this has ever happened to you and you've been stuck, and maybe I can help. But the important thing is just to look at your listing every single day and make sure that there's no one else on your listing. So that is it for this video. I hope this video made sense. I hope you liked it. Remember, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And this is Shimmy Morris. If you want to check out my channel, it will be the link in the description. I try to make daily videos, but I have a whole YouTube channel with Amazon training and all that sort of stuff. And I made this video specifically for AMZScout, so I hope you enjoyed it.